Myth, the legend, that is Craig Mish. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to the weekend. Thanks for having me. Hope you're well.
Oh, I'm well. Bitcoin is hitting 21,000. I'm good, bro.
I
It's
liked it
climbing.
better at 50.
Yeah, it will. It'll get back there. I'm not worried about that. It'll get all back there, man. You just got to be patient. Got to hang in there, buy low, hodl, and wait, and it'll all come back,
I don't know.
baby.
Part of me wishes I would have sold it. I got to be honest.
Huh? No, I
Part of
don't.
me,
Don't. I hope you bought more now when it's low. You'll
I
trust me.
really
You'll get
haven't. I did well with it. Thought I did really well with it, and then and then went down.
It's
But
it's
I'm good
because
where I'm at.
it's a little ahead of its time. Now it will, you saw Fidelity yesterday. Fidelity is opening up their own crypto exchange. And they're not going to charge anything for you to buy crypto on their exchange.
We could
It's
have a lot
coming,
of
dude.
conversations about this stuff.
Mass adoption is coming. And when it does, those of us that got in early, we're going to enjoy. That's
I
all.
got in
But you got to
really
be.
early, but again, it's like it was 50, man.
I know. No, it was 60. It was
60.
60. It got to like 61, I think it was, or
Well, we'll
64.
see. We'll see.
So it'll get back there. It's going to surpass that, dude. It'll go to $250,000. But it's,
Well,
you
if it
just
does,
got to
that'll
give
be a
it.
good day.
That'll be that. It will. It will. It's just one of those things that, we're setting our kids up, is what we're doing, bro. It's what we're doing. All right.
I got
First
my
of all,
ledger right over here.
did Lance McCullers tip his pitches? By the way, are you part of that? Did
Maybe
the leg
so.
kick give it away to you? Huh?
I mean, everybody had it. The problem is that everybody had a different opinion of how he was tipping the pitches, which makes me think he was not tipping the pitches. But it's like Pedro Martinez is the one that I would trust with that sort of stuff. He said he was, and it was based on where he was holding the ball. But does it really matter? I guess at this point, Orlando. I mean, they're a game up. They got 2 games to go. If it has to go to a game 7, they'd be nuts to start him. And it's probably much ado about nothing at this point. Because Christian
Yeah.
Javier was unbelievable the other night, and he probably could go 3-4 innings if they need, maybe even more on Sunday. So if you look, Philly, they've had a great season. They definitely could win the next game. They definitely could win the World Series. Everybody seems to be such a prisoner of the moment in this series. One team wins a game, they think that team's going to win the World Series. This team wins a game, they think that team's going to win the World Series. I mean, there's a good chance this goes to 7 games. I don't think anybody has the advantage right now. I mean, obviously Houston up a game does, but anything can happen. It's been back and forth.
By the way, somebody wrote an article about Randy Johnson. It's like, yeah, no, he used to tip his pitches all the time, but he still got people out all the damn time too. By the way, where do you rate Kyle Schwarber's bat flip? Because I thought it was a little overrated, to be quite honest with you.
It was fine. It was fine. I listened when I came on last week.
Exactly.
I said the same thing. I'm going to say the same thing again. The Phillies are built to have games where they're unbeatable for a game or two because they're going to hit 4 or 5 home runs. This is going to happen again, either game 6 or game 7. It's probably going to happen again. But
it looked like that no-hitter. But that no-hitter looked like it took a little wind out of their sails, bro. It kind of.
I don't know that it did. I don't know that it did. It's they when they get hot, the whole team gets hot and they win, and then they don't. And so they're probably still due for another game like that before it's all said and done. It's just to do it consistently against good pitching is impossible. So that's sort of why they're up against it here, is because to beat Houston 2 games in a row now in their park is really tough to do. I mean, that's going to be really tough to do.
Yeah, no,
the Marlins did it somehow. I don't know. Don't ask me how.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that it just you got to have things go your way, and right now that to me that no hitter kind of like just kind of made everything go that side to the Astros, and I'll follow up with this: how much does that organization kind of need this title to erase the funk from the other title?
I don't know. I think they've gotten far enough and have been down this road far enough to.
You're thinking like yourself, a baseball lover. Put yourself.
I haven't heard a lot of that, Orlando, in this series.
Public.
I have not heard a lot of it.
But it's kind of there still with the general public, the whole cheating stuff and all that. They're kind of viewed that way. So in a way,
I don't know.
A lot of those guys are gone.
Exactly.
You go out and win. it's kind of like, okay, see, it wasn't about cheating, it was about a great organization. You know what I'm saying? It kind of helps, you know.
So winning one more game will do that as opposed to where they're at. I think they've proven it already.
I you're right. But I'm talking about optics. That's all I'm talking about. I'm not really talking about the reality. Of course, they've already proven it, dude. I mean, you know, they've proven that they've been a good franchise year in and year out. It's just, I think it's pretty cool to go through it now without that shadow over you. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe listen, for some people, I suppose that is the case, but anybody who follows the game just, you know, mildly understands that this is a completely different team than that team with few exceptions. They just keep replacing players. George Springer, Carlos Correa, two of the top 20 players in Major League Baseball, neither of them are on the team. Like, I mean,
I
do I
know.
need to say anything else about this? Like, I mean, they just
I
keep
know.
replacing guys.
Yeah. They're good, man. They're good. They just know their stuff. See, I got damn cheaters, you know. It's like it's on the chat board, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm telling you optics. That's why I mentioned it. All right, let's move over to the Marlins. Um I want to get excited, but I can't get excited. I almost feel like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. You know what I'm saying? Until you show me, you know what you're doing in you know, finding talent, developing it, keeping it. Does it matter who the manager is? You know what I'm saying? It's just
I think it matters. I think here's why it matters. It matters because I think that he's going to be entertaining. I think that he'll probably get thrown out of games a lot. It's just my feeling. My feeling alone. I think that he'll give great post games, good pre games. As far as the play on the field, I think he'll probably hold guys a little bit more accountable than Donnie. I could see that. As far as wins and losses, I mean, I'm not going to be the one to tell you they're going to win 20 more games because of Skip Schumacher, so I can't argue that point. But I guess in a season next year that I'm not sure what it's going to look like, whether they win 80 or win 60, at least you know that you're going to get some entertainment from that. That's nothing against Donnie, who I love, but Donnie is just like that.
yeah.
You know, Skip's going to be that. Whoa, you know, whoa, you know. So I kind of, I guess we could use a little of that, I guess, but you know,
Yeah, we haven't
Dan
had
Campbell
that
didn't
since,
win a lot here either. You know,
maybe Leland.
McKeon,
Who was a fiery manager? Because
Ian,
Bowles wasn't fiery.
Jack,
Um,
McKeon.
yeah, McKeon. Well, McKeon was funny.
Yes,
He was kind of a character.
he was great.
Yeah, yeah. He was the other guy that had
Ozzie Guillen,
Girardi, huh?
Ozzie
Who?
Guillen,
Oh god. That was how long was that? That was how short-lived was that thing? I
one
forgot how
year,
short it
1 year.
got to a whole year.
I think so.
I don't know why I was thinking it was only months. You know that?
I think it was a year.
But he would have been fiery.
He
He would
was.
have been. Yeah. No, but I mean, he was here long enough to really like, unfortunately, but yeah, he would have been fiery. Yeah, I mean, it's good to have some fun, but we still gotta. God, that's what I feel bad about. Feel bad for some of these managers that they're not going to have everything that they need to succeed. And I know Bruce Sherman was kind of talking about, well, if we're close, we're going to spend some, that kind of stuff. We tried last year and all that, but I don't know, man. I want hope, man. That's all I want to. Just give me a little hope, Craig. That's all
It
I
was.
want.
There's a few interesting things from yesterday.
Give it to me.
So, things that I haven't mentioned yet. So, one of them was exactly what you're saying was, and I won't call names out because that's not the right thing to do. But I feel like the one positive thing with me, you know me, I'm humble. I don't ever come on here and say I'm this or I'm that or whatever. But I think that most people recognize at this point that I'm sort of the go-to. I think that's fair on the Marlins.
For
So
sure.
yeah, I think that's fair. So at the end, the reporters that are there, the ones you see on TV, like myself, I'm on TV every day too. But the local people, and I'm not going to get into like who was there, whatever. So they sort of come up to me at the end. They're like, "So, like, what do you think here? What do you know? Like, all of a sudden, the Marlins going to be good? Can this happen? Whatever." I'm like, "Listen, you have a Major League Baseball team to cover in South Florida. let's just be for now. Let's be happy with that. Let's leave it. I can't promise anything else. So, like you, that's sort of the sentiment. Is they, we want to be optimistic. We want to be hopeful. I do think they have some direction, but to promise anything would be very foolish at this point. And that press conference is over, and now it's like the Marlins won the month of November. Congrats, you didn't play a game. Now all of a sudden you got to make moves. And then the second part of what I thought was interesting, Orlando, no one mentioned this yesterday, but this was by far to me the most interesting thing after the press conference was Kim Eng did a media thing, right? And she said very specifically, she has said several times that she thought that the club last year was better than the record indicated because of injuries and unluckiness and some other things. And she said yesterday that she knew that some people have been giving pushback on that, which told me she's been on social media a little bit and watching some of the things that people are saying. It was very subtle. She also doubled down and saying she still believes that. But I thought that was important because it means that the organization is sort of paying a little attention as to how other people perceive some of the comments that are being made. Very small piece of information there. But to me, that says something. They're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. They're seeing what people are saying about the organization and at a very high level. Again, I thought that was interesting, that takeaway for me.
I would just love to see an organization that would actually try to commit to actual winning. And, you cry over there in baseball. They always go, oh, well, our crowds, this, that. Man, this is South Florida. You want a crowd? You got to earn it, bro. You got to
Let me
earn
ask
it.
you a question. I want to ask you an honest question. I thought about this yesterday. Call me crazy, but I want to just put it out there. And maybe you'll say definitely not, but I want you to think about it and then tell me, maybe in the future. If the Marlins built the stadium, Orlando, in Boca Raton, would they get more fans every day?
No.
Honest question.
No.
They would not.
It does not matter where you put a stadium or arena in South Florida. Does not matter. You sold out the Miami Arena for hockey because your team was good. Then you took it to Broward saying, oh, all our fans are in Broward and Palm Beach. Great. Nobody went. Why? Because your team sucked for 20 years. So now you finally got owners that are committed, and now you're starting to see the place get full again. The Orange Bowl was jam-packed for Dolphins and for Canes games when they were good. But then you have your empty seats at times for the Canes and some for the Dolphins. They still sell pretty well. But overall, it's because you weren't as good. The Marlins, the first couple of years, you sold out well because it was the expansion stuff. And leading into the playoffs, if you remember during those playoff years, the Marlins happen to own attendance records in Major League Baseball when it comes to playoffs and World Series attendance. Why? Because you were in a baseball stadium. The Rockies and the Marlins have some of those records. Why? Because they were playing in football stadiums. And we have proven that we will go, but it's up to you to win and entertain. If you don't win and entertain, we're not going to go anywhere. You can put it in Homestead, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach. It doesn't matter. To me, that's the misconception. Look at the soccer team. You're not that good, so you're not filling it up. When Ray Hudson and his team were going to the conference finals, we were up to 14,000 in that stadium. The place was getting packed. That was packed for Lockhart. Well, you'll see if Inter Miami is good, they'll pack it in Fort Lauderdale or they'll pack it down in Miami when they go. I don't believe the arena or the stadium matters where it's at.
No, it's not a matter of matters. I just was curious just on that specific thing, like where people just don't care as much about wins and losses and just more about going out and having a good time. I'm not saying that
we're not a public transportation town, and we know it. So if you want to go to the beach and you live out west, you got to drive 45 minutes to get there, whether you like it or not. You got to go to work in Dade or Broward. You got to commute. Since we're not a public transportation, it has nothing to do with where it's at. If you win, They'll come from Palm Beach down to Miami, or they'll go Miami all the way to Palm Beach.
I don't
They
think
don't
they're
care.
coming from Palm Beach anymore. I think that's done.
Of course not. If you're not winning, they're not coming. They do for the Heat and for the Dolphins. They do.
From Palm Beach to the Heat, yeah?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I
They
wouldn't
go
know
down.
about that, so.
They have their fans that come from Palm Beaches for sure, dude.
Okay.
Palm Beach
No, I
fans
don't.
will come.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know.
Palm Beach fans will come, dude, but you do something to bring them down. And then they'll drive. We have to drive everywhere, so that's normal.
Yeah.
But you have to give us a reason. Oh, it's a great restaurant. It's a great party. It's a great movie. Well, I need you to be a good team, dude. I need you to win. I need you to entertain. If you want me to drive down there, I'm going to do it. That's usually the attitude.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's up to
All
them,
right.
dude. It's really up to them. All right, what do you got going on the sports grid?
Well, I have a show coming up here soon, so I got to get ready for it. 2:00 Eastern, Newswire, sportsgrid.com, and the app is free. Streaming is free, so anybody could watch it. We'll give out some picks in the NFL today, coming up a little bit later. Also, DraftKings, FanDuel, all the betting companies have their earnings reports from the last quarter, so we'll reveal those as well. And naturally, we go over some of the news of the day, forced to talk about this Kyrie Irving thing over and over again. Probably my least favorite story in a long time to have to do. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know. We were just talking about it with Ira and, you know, how they Leonard Myers, they didn't wait. And with Kyrie, they have dragged their feet.
Some comments from Durant now. Oh my gosh, like this is never going to end. But it has to be talked about because it's very serious. I am Jewish, obviously. It's distressing for me. So, but naturally, look, better
listen,
things.
we got, as I told Ira and I've told everybody else on the show, and I'll tell you, we have to stand up for all kinds of hate. Doesn't matter what it is, dude. Whether it's our Jewish community, whether it's our Black community, whether it's our LGBT community, our Asian community, they are all under attack for one reason or another. And you don't realize it because you're not Asian, or you don't realize it because you're not Jewish, or you don't realize it because you're not Black, or you don't realize it because you're not part of the LGBT community. And there's probably others that I've left out in general. But what I'm saying is there are communities that are constantly dealing with all kinds of hate.
Sure.
And the last thing we have to do as a society is to fuel hate on any level. And that's it. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
I don't think that's hard.
Yeah. And just announce it, which is very easy to do.
Very easy. Very simple.
I know
it is very simple to be. And by the way, it's very simple to be caring. You actually got to try to go out of your way to be an asshole. I just want you to know that. Just try that in life. How it's really easy to say nice, but then somehow if you want to be a dick, you got to kind of like be crafty and you got to start working at it. It's so hard to be a jerk. Just be nice, dude.
It's very, very tough. Tough to watch this stuff, but looking forward to the weekend. Big college game tomorrow. Probably going to determine who gets in the playoff between Georgia and Tennessee. And then naturally,
I got FSU Miami, bro. What are you? Come on.
I'm done with that. Are you kidding me? I mean, listen, Mario may turn it around, but my gosh, like the biggest frauds I've seen, that this is all of a sudden going to be something. And oh my God, like, I mean,
if he's going to turn around, he's got to flush out a lot of characters. It's too much. There's too much of that. They put on the helmet and they think they're the you, and that's
I mean, Manny Diaz was better, but anyway. So I'll be watching that, and then Little League game tomorrow at 11, and then World Series.
There you go.
Obviously,
that's serious shit right there.
That is
all right,
really
my brother. You be a good father,
weekend, my friend. See ya.
Much love. Follow him on Twitter at Craig Mish. We step out of the batter's box.
This is the